Shock Monkey Radio is created by adults for entertainment purposes. The views and opinions expressed here do not reflect the sponsors or FXPG Public Radio. For additional information, refer to the U.S. Bill of Rights. Stand warned. So, a Florida sheriff speaks out on taking a knee with demonstrators. Orange County Sheriff John Mina, let's go with Mina, explained to Fox News that it was important for him to, quote, listen to and to hear the anger and frustration of Orlando, Florida demonstrators protesting the death of George Floyd, the black man who died last week in police custody in Minneapolis. Mina credited the young men that he was speaking to at the protest for asking both himself and Orlando Police Chief Orlando Rolón to kneel with him in a moment of solidarity. Quote, the two young gentlemen asked us to kneel, and we said, why don't we kneel and pray? He explained, Mina. And so we did. I think that sent a great message not only to the people protesting out there, but to our officers and our deputies who were watching their two leaders in Orange County kneel. Take a knee and listen to what the protesters had to say. Mina sent an email to his Orange County community condemning the indefensible and unexplainable and criminal actions of the officers allegedly involved in Floyd's death. Sheriff Mina told Fox News that the Orange County Sheriff's Office has had a use of force policy for decades. Quote, one of the things that is forbidden in our policy is the use of a neck restraint or chokehold. So what you saw the Minneapolis police officer do, obviously, that's against policy, he said. Not only is it against policy, it is a criminal act, but we've been training for years here on the appropriate use of force. A string of police killings of young black men in 2014 prompted 24 states to quickly pass some type of law enforcement reform, but many declined to address police use of force. 6 years later, only about a third of states have passed the laws on the issue. As of August 2018, at least 16 states have passed use of force laws, according to the nonpartisan National Conference of State Legislatures. A handful of those directly restricted to what police could do. In Utah and Missouri, for example, force used by officers must be reasonable and necessary. Colorado has banned chokeholds, the maneuver used on Eric Garner, but the man who was killed at the hands of the police officers in Staten Island in 2014. Garner's dying words, I can't breathe, have become a rallying cry across the globe for protests against police brutality. He's the most guilty one of them all. The other states created task force that set new standards, boosted training, and improved tracking of officers' use of guns and deadly force. Sheriff Mina told Fox News that he does not have any issue with making some kind of national standard when it comes to use of force policies. Sheriff Mina is open to new ways of protecting the community and explained that it is important to keep an open dialogue with the community. Oftentimes, he said, citizens have come up with a number of ideas and recommendations that law enforcement should implement. Quote, there are some things that we have to look at with an open mind and say, you know what, maybe we need to take a second look at it, he said. Law enforcement, our profession, has been making incremental changes in the past several years, and we are improving as a profession. We just got to get better, and certainly we're open to ideas and recommendations from the people that we protect and serve. Absolutely. I will take a knee with you and pray for our nation with you. Absolutely. There are things that are concerning to everybody, including police officers, including the majority of police officers who are good officers. Absolutely. You want me to kneel in front of you? Fuck you. That's insane. All you people out there kneeling in front of black people, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'll pray with you, but I'm not going to kneel in front of you like I personally have sinned against you. Like I'm asking you to marry me. Like I'm worshiping a king or queen. You people kneeling in front of anybody? What's wrong with you? Democratic senators and representatives. Anyway. But absolutely, I will get on my knees and pray for this nation alongside you. Even if I do it on my own, or even if I'm with you. If you want me to sit down, put my knees to the ground, and pray with you so we can both voice our anger and stress and offer it up to the Lord, absolutely. Come running up to me and demand it, you might get shot. You're Lucky you're running up on liberal white women. What's up with that? Asking them to kneel for you. It's like the beginning of a bad porno. Anyway, last story. I'm trying to keep these upbeat, but I can't. My dark mind just twists everything. It's so dark, just twists everything. It's like there's nothing pure in the world. Anyway, let's go to this last story. Police officer prays with protester in touching photo. An image of hope in turbulent times shows a police officer praying with a protester in Tennessee. It was captured on camera the same day violence broke out in Nashville, leaving at least 30 businesses and buildings damaged, Fox 17 reported. Officer Garen Hoskins, tasked with protecting the Central Precinct, started talking with a peaceful protester who was preaching about their shared faith. The officer asked him if he'd like to pray. The protester put down his sign and the two embraced and prayed. It was very touching, Hoskins told the media. That gentleman was such a nice guy. I believe it created a solidarity there between him expressing his freedom of speech and me there as a police officer, and that's something the world needs to see. That's an excellent quote taken from this police officer, Hoskins. He also noted that the embrace had an impact on others around them, especially after some rocks were thrown at them. Fox 17 reports that later in the day, 28 people were arrested downtown. Fires were set inside the Nashville Historic Courthouse and City Hall, and businesses and police cars were vandalized. Quote, you can see rioting and looting in all the cities across the United States, Hoskins said. But I think there are things happening outside of those images that are real and powerful. And my image happened to be caught at that time. That's true. Those are fleeting images. Fires burn a long time. But two people on opposite sides of the line, embracing and praying together, that's rare and fleeting. He didn't know the image he caught on camera until the department posted it, and it immediately went viral. Hoskins concluded that the image shows peaceful solidarity between law enforcement and society, showing that there can be a peaceful outcome when both sides come together. Though the two cordially wished each other well, the officer said he'd love to sit down, hang out with a cup of coffee with the protester. And I think that's the point. I think that a lot of you have given up. A lot of these people, these protesting people, they don't believe in God. They don't have any religion. And now their religion has become this SJW mob. Bow to our will is like, we say there's racist, that the entire police in all of the U.S. is racist, which is absurd, even by number standards. I mean, even if racism were popular in the United States, which it isn't, I invite you to go to any other country in the world and you will see how racism really works in other parts of the world. America is the most tolerant country in the world. And I think that stories like this that show why. It's like you've given up on God and now your religion is this the woke mob. But, there are people who still have faith out there. There are still people struggling about what to do, what to think, what to believe during these tough times. And I think, you got to turn to Jesus. You got to offer up your worries and troubles up to Jesus. It's like put it in his hands. Before you cast that first stone, talk to your fellow man and woman. Talk to them. Ask them to pray with you. Say, yes, you want me to get on my knees because America is hurting? America is burning? Absolutely. Let's sit down and pray for our nation. Let's sit down and pray and appeal to God together that we're both scared of what could come in the next year or so. That we're all worried about what's going to happen to America. We're all worried about the racists that could grow out of all these riots. Because that's happening, right? A lot of people who were racist are now even more racist because they see it's like, why is this happening? Because of the blacks. But we all know it's not the blacks. It's a bunch of liberal white kids. So, I mean, but that's the way racists think, and they're going to be even more solidified because of things like this. And that's not true. It's not true. I don't know what color God is. I can't wait to be pleasantly surprised by it. But in the meantime, we all have to live on this earth together. And I humbly suggest that we all get together and pray, have a few jokes, punch a bed, scream on the highway. Whatever helps. We can find ways around it. Just give me a call. Send me an email at madman@fxbgpr.com. We could talk about it. We could pray together. I will pray for you if you like. If you want something you want to talk about, you can end up on the mailbag. We could do it next week or something like that. Just send me an email. Go over to patreon.com/shockmonkeyradio. Become a patron and get access to all of our video content. And you can see what exactly the hell I did with my hair. Check us out on YouTube. You should look for Shock Monkey Radio on YouTube. And be sure to check out all the other shows on fxbgpublicradio.com. We got a bunch of stuff, lots of shows. And you too, if you're in the area and you want to get involved in FXBG Public Radio, get in touch with us. Email me at madman@fxbgpr.com or the owner at admin@fxbgpr.com. We'll see what we can do to set you up. Anyway, this has been Shock Monkey Radio. I'm the Madman. I'm praying for you, and I love you.